Hey, how you doing, everybody? I have to talk about this because you, if you're watching this, and I expect a lot of people are going to watch this, but I don't care. Uh, but it actually, in a sense, gets to my point. All right. When I saw the commercials about Quibi, and I kept thinking, wow, that looks interesting. I have to check that out. And they had some action adventure series that looked like they were promising, and I thought, I'll check that out. Hey, welcome. But at the end of the day, I never watched Quibi. And my first thought about Quibi was this. Well, hey, it's great that these actors are getting work in the middle of the pandemic. I never once even stopped to think of Quibi as a tech play. I thought of it as a Hollywood actor play first. I had no idea, because I hadn't read about it, that Jeffrey Katzenberg and his colleagues raised 1.75 billion, and here I am trying to raise 2 million. Right? Boy, I look bad. But well, my company's still alive. But I digress, all right? Um they raised 1.75 billion for Quibi. All right? Here's why Quibi didn't work. Quibi didn't work simply because Jeff Katzenberg, who's done a masterful job in advancing 3D in Hollywood. I had the pleasure of meeting him at a distance. I was asking him a question at the Variety Hollywood Entertainment Summit in 2010. And he's always been, or tried to be, at the forefront of the application of digital media tech to, Hollywood production, right? But this one, missed entirely. And here's the problem. Quibi is one app, all right? And you can't, by rule, you should not, all right, raise all that money. And Dustin says it right here. Jeff and Meg Whitman, who was CEO, raised all that money thinking we wanted to watch a star, and we don't. The one thing that is never lost on me on YouTube, I've been a YouTube partner since 2008, all right, is how many stars come on who are maybe B or C level, and they're really disappointed in the views they get. Then they realize they have to do things. Even Justin Bieber had to buy his views. And with Quibi, you had one app. You didn't have this system where you have multiple videos being put out to different search engines, so that so the search engine serves as marketing for the device, right? In many ways, it's just like the mistake Rupert Murdoch made when he started that laptop, actually tablet-based news organization. And I said, hey, look, that's not going to work. I'll give it 2 years. It lasted less than that. And the reason then I said it was going to last maybe 2 years, and it didn't last even that long, was for many of the same reasons that Quibi just lasted 6 months. Because they were under the assumption that we wanted to see personalities that no one really had ever heard of putting out news that we had to think, all right, think to go to that place, that place, okay? Dustin says we want organic grassroots people like Margulies, Brownlee, and even me, Zenny. Thank you, I appreciate that. But also, there's a rule. You have to constantly put out content, and it has to be searchable so you can build an audience, all right? And then bring people in. If you're not going to do that, give them the tools to make their own content. That's what, for example, TikTok is about. I don't see TikTok as like Quibi. I read an account of this on TechCrunch a few minutes ago to put my thoughts together about what I was looking at. And I thought it was a nonsensical comparison. Quibi is not a tech play. And I think that's really the biggest problem here. Jeff Katzenberg thought it was a tech play. It wasn't. He was using existing technology. There was nothing innovative about Quibi, and stuffing actors into it and paying them shitload of money. That's it. But there was nothing about Quibi itself that said, ooh, all right? It was app-based. So, it was like Netflix. Well, we got Netflix. Netflix has an app too. I mean, you know, you've got Disney Plus. Disney Plus got it. Disney got it. Why? Because Disney has a ton of classics that we can watch on Disney Plus. I have it for an affordable fee, which it is. And then on top of that, they can layer new content and then occasionally put out commercials whenever a new title comes on, right? That's brilliant. But look, Disney Plus would not work if it had a handful of brand new titles, 9 minutes long, with maybe a handful of people you heard of, and that's it. You know, I want to watch 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I can go to Disney Plus and do that. Woo, okay. And then I can watch Star Wars, The Avengers. You get the idea? You can't compare Disney Plus to Quibi. All right, Dustin says exactly. Look at the skateboarding guy with the ocean spray. Nathan Aproka. His silly, simple videos on TikTok's 100% time. It's more entertaining, right? And it includes 3 things. First of all, he made it himself. That's the big thing. Second, he used something familiar, Fleetwood Mac, who I happen to love, Mick Fleetwood as well. And, you know, he's Latino brother on a skateboard digging a white song from the 70s, all right? How much do you like all of that, putting all that together? But he was able to use TikTok to do that. Just like, look at Kellyanne Conway's daughter, who basically has become better than Fox News at informing us of what's going on with President Trump. Media's different now. And I always say this, okay? You have to practice spending a little to get a lot. It doesn't matter if you're spending nothing to get a few cents on the dollar or you're getting a lot. Because what you have to make certain of is that your basic engine is operating so that you can expect to make some dollars out of it, and then ask yourself the next question: how can I accelerate my business model to make it perform better? See, Quibi had so much money at its disposal, but it was quite literally drunk. It was so drunk with money, it was stupid. Which is like the typical Hollywood hubris thing, and it's like, oh, we got this, all right? Look, I don't mean to be insulting of Jeff Katzenberg. I've admired what he's done over the years, in particular with 3D animation and the marketing of it, and also quite literally flipping entertainment and movies to where 3D animated movies are now something we turn around and pay attention to rather than, oh, that's not going to work. But he stepped outside of his comfort zone here, unknowingly. Because once he had the money, he figured, it's going to work, it's going to last because we have the money. Dustin says, yep, media is different. We don't all sit around TV watching for Walter Cronkite and Dan Rather after 7 p.m. It's instant and organic. Yeah, not only that, Dustin, not only is it instant and organic, but you know something else that's, I think, a bit more problematic, is it has a burn rate that is freaking short, man. I call it the blip city. Blip, right? Blip, blip. So the game is, how many blips can you cause? You know, if you're not causing enough blips and monetizing those blips, you're not going to last. That's why, for example, Zenny62 Media, we don't rely on those blips. What we do is we say, hey, look, we will tell your story. You have a problem where somebody else in the media is only telling one side of the story, and they're basically loading up the search results about what their view is and not yours. You hire us. But we take that money and we finance vloggers to make, content about different news items. I'm sorry, you cannot finance news and entertainment in the traditional way. You can't do it with ads. It doesn't work. You can't do it with PPP. You can't do it expecting clicks and everything else. It doesn't work. And a lot of people just, they seem to not get it, but because it's like, this is the only song we know, it's really, really slow, to make fun of USC song, you know, they keep trying to slam home that stupid model, and it doesn't work. Our model is different. It says, hey, look, you pay us to multi-content you there to tell your story, to make sure it gets out there. So we get a block fee per month, a retainer, and that finances the other. We do have ads, but not in the same way. We do have sponsors, but our overarching, and we're seeking investors, but our overarching play in terms of the business model is essentially reputation management. We're taking a reputation management approach and superimposing it on news storytelling and content production for the purpose of news commentary, talking, all right? That's our difference. And you can't, that's how you got to do it today, because the market is just so flooded. And in our blog, I have a system where I can go to YouTube and like a video, and that video automatically becomes blog content. So it's kind of turning the whole social media thing where you like or you will share something from, say, Time Online to your Facebook page. This is different. So you'll see a YouTube video and you'll say, I want to like that, and that one, not you, but we do this, and we'll like 10 different videos. Those become blog content, and guess what? Hey, we're good to go for the day with respect to Oakland topics or wherever we choose to point our area in. It's kind of like Drudge Report in terms of, you know, picking the most interesting content from a place, but we use YouTube, right? And it takes less time. And here's the other point. You've gone to a concert, right? How many times you go to a concert, someone's holding up a smartphone? How many times you go to a concert and hundreds of people are holding up a smartphone? I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, I thought this years ago. You know what? That's killing media right there. The media is right there. And then remember The Dark Knight, where Lucius had the field of cell phones with Bruce Wayne, and they took all those, and that was their field of what was happening, and they could find the crime, the Joker that way, and what Joker was doing. It's kind of like that, okay? You have to think that way. You have to think in a way that involves what's already out there. The reason why TikTok works is that you have what's already out there, people who want to make something for whatever reason. Well, they want to get, you know, discovered or something else. Or if you think about a number of performers who are on Saturday Night Live, like, for example, Megan Thee Stallion, all right? Do you know how Megan Thee Stallion was discovered? In 2016, she started making her stuff on SoundCloud. Get the idea? She was making her own content. She got discovered. Next thing you know, she's on SNL. That's today. That's today. So you have to, you know, if the whole point is, if Jeffrey had said to me, Zinni, how would you redesign Quibi? I would say the best mix is to think of, ask yourself how the app should behave itself. Think about the tech of the app. What do you want the app to do? Do you want people to use it? And then, how about this? How about having big stars combined with people who don't even, no one ever heard of, who are influencers, right? I mean homegrown influencers, not necessarily people you've heard of somebody else. And I don't mean the same model either. I mean something where they have this collaborative set and they have an idea. It's like a skit, you know? Dustin Scott says, it's crazy, man. They spent all that money on the original content too. And when they tried to sell the rights to the content this week, they couldn't even give it away. You know, they can't. There's nothing particularly cool about it that anybody else would want. And again, Dustin, you know what? It reminds me something else too. This dude, because I used to cover the Night of Wonder of the Stars Oscar party, and which has since unfortunately ended. And he says basically, hey, you know, I've got all of these interviews I did from 20th Century Fox. Do you want them? And I was really slow to get them. And the reason is that if I would put up an interview about a star, it would never get as much views as I want to. And the dirty little secret on YouTube right now is the reason why the K's and the W's of the world, like, for example, KPIX and WBST and everything else, right? The reason why they're able to survive on YouTube with all their views is because YouTube algorithm automatically bumps them up over what I post. Because I know this because I post on a regular basis more about Oakland on YouTube than anybody else. And I've got basically a Stonehenge worth of videos that YouTube artificially subordinates for the K's and the W's. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I know that beyond a certain mark, they can only do that so much beyond a certain mark. And I know what that mark is, and I'm not going to say it, but I know the formula. But what the beauty of this device is that I can make a video or a vlog of 2 or 3 minutes about something, upload it, it becomes a blog post, it becomes video, boom, that's it. I get it out faster than somebody else. And then it goes automatically to social media, and I'm on to the next one. Speed and spread should be the watchwords for anybody in media today. Speed and spread. If you're not thinking about those two in combination with other approaches, you're going to go the way of Quibi. Hey, 1.75 billion? Hey, I'll take 1.75 million. I mean, it's ridiculous how inefficient this is. In the middle of a pandemic, somebody spent that kind of money, and now they got to liquidate. That's sad, man. It just is. All right, I made my point. Thank you for, chiming in. And I'm going to collect more thoughts about this. Anything else you want to say, Dustin? I really appreciate your input on this. Thank you very much. And subscribe to Zenny62, bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com, and vote for Biden. You know, we need to get this country back to normal. This has gone on for far too long. All right, talk to you later. See ya.